Hello, my fellow awakening souls. I hope we all have been well despite the state of the world. So today I wanted to get into some habits that we need to build upon in order to lead successful lives, in order to accomplish all that we want to accomplish in this world, in this life. So let's get into the first successful habit, which is discipline. Discipline is going to get you to where you want to be. Whether that's with your studies, your health, or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Motivation isn't always there when we need it. Sometimes we're overwhelmed. Sometimes we're tired. Sometimes we are just not in the mood to do whatever it is that we need to do to create the life that we desire. It's just like working out or meditation. Most of us delay the action itself because we're not in the mood some days, or we just don't feel like it. But on those days, we actually force ourselves to stay disciplined and to do the thing that we were putting off, such as working out or meditating. We end up feeling better in the end. And it ends up being something that aids us in being a better individual overall. Most days when I find myself not wanting to meditate or journal because I just am too consumed into my anime or K-drama or whatever it is that I'm watching. Don't judge me. K-drama is the best. I find myself so consumed in distractions some days that I don't want to meditate. But when I actually take the time to do the meditation, I feel so much better. My thoughts are clearer, and it reminds me to get back on track, to get on path. And the same thing with the gym. When I don't want to work out, but I push myself to work out anyway, it's going to pay off because I'm sculpting the body that I desire. I'm sculpting myself to look and feel a certain way. The gym helps clear my mind. The gym is my therapy. The gym is therapeutic for me. So even some days where I feel like I don't want to go, I leave out with a clearer mind and a healthier body. So you have to stay committed to the work. You have to stay disciplined. You have to learn how to discipline yourselves. A lot of us nowadays in society, we lack discipline, which is why society is the way it is now. Something that is even worse than not being disciplined, I would say, is that most of us are aware of where we lack in our lives, of what we don't do, or of the fact that we're not disciplined, but we make the choice not to change. We make the choice not to grow. We make the choice not to do certain actions, even though it will produce better results than the ones we are receiving currently in our life. And that is why you are stuck today. That is why you probably have been stuck where you are for many years. And that's why you will continue to be stuck in the position that you are in, because you are constantly making the choice not to be disciplined. You're realizing that you aren't disciplined, or you don't even realize that you're not disciplined, but you're not doing anything about it. We have to become disciplined. If you truly want change, which is most of you probably watching this video right now, the reason that you've come across my videos because you're looking to change, you're looking to grow. You're not going to be motivated most days, and that's okay. Don't judge yourself, don't push yourself down, but stay committed to the act. Stay committed to doing what is going to ultimately lead to a better life, to a life that you desire. Something that I find that helps me, that may help you too, is the fact that some of you may ask yourselves, well, how do I stay disciplined? My how, which it may not work for you, you may have to find your own how, but my how is the fact that I want it bad enough. And I feel like if you truly want something bad enough, no matter how unmotivated you are, you will stay disciplined to doing whatever action it is that is going to lead you to creating the life that you desire, or leading you to complete whatever it is that you're trying to complete. So you have to find your how. What is your how? How are you going to make yourself stay disciplined? And most of you probably are in the same boat. You're not disciplined enough because you don't want it bad enough. If you want something bad enough, no matter how you're feeling, you're going to do whatever it is that you need to do to create that life that you're trying to create, or to manifest the reality that you're trying to manifest. You know, if you want peace, if you want happiness, if you want love, you're going to do the things that you need to do to manifest or attract those things in your life, no matter how unmotivated you are. It's something you have to reflect upon for yourself. What do you truly want? What do you truly desire? What are your true goals? What are your intentions with those things? And do you want them bad enough to stay disciplined on days where you're not motivated? A lot of us lack discipline nowadays, and we have to get it back. That's why there's so much chaos. That's why there is such a lack of accountability and responsibility. That's why we're so dependent as a society on other people to take care of us. That's why we get so angry when the government is doing certain things and making certain decisions. The only reason there is a government is because you can't govern yourself. Most of us can't govern ourselves. We have fallen so far from how high we used to be as a people. It's the fact of the matter is, we have to learn to start to be independent as a people. That's where the true growth begins, is to become, of being sovereign, of being able to think for yourself, of being able to put in the work for yourself or for your family, or put in the work as a community, as a family, as a people, so that we can all help each other get to where we need to get, instead of just relying on, shall I say, people that don't care about you to do something for you, or relying on people to make better decisions so that you can lead a better life. We have been shown time and time again that in the world we live, those that are making certain decisions don't care about us, but yet we still continue to engage in low vibrational activity and to brush things off and not want to have the hard conversations that we need to have, not want to make the hard decisions that we want to make, not want to put in the work within ourselves. We're expecting different results within our societies, within our communities, but are making the same low vibrational decisions. Nothing's going to change till the hard conversations are had. Nothing's going to change until you make the decision to evolve yourself first before you try to help others evolve. Because through evolving within yourself, you're able to help other people evolve, and thus we evolve as a collective. So we have to begin to put in the work individually. And that's why I make these videos, because it keeps me focused on my personal goals and realizing where I lack in life, and reminding me of what principles I need to be following or practicing in order to become even better than I was yesterday, and even better than I will be tomorrow. And it also helps me spread the message and inspire people like you watching this video to reflect upon yourself, reflect upon the world, start to think for yourself, start to become a little more independent, start to be able to heal yourself, and then thus being able to help heal others. Because enough is enough. But I did get a little bit off topic, so let me get back on. Let's go into successful habit number 2, which is edifying ourselves or gaining knowledge. And we can do this in a number of ways, whether it's watching videos, talking to each other, reading, pretty much doing everything you can to become more knowledgeable in every aspect of life that you can. Now, certain conversations, certain things that we learn are just things that are fun to learn for conversation's sake, but actually truly learning things that will make an impact on our lives, on our mental, our spiritual and physical well-being, and on the well-being of those around us. So if you're trying to be wealthy, you need to be learning from wealthy people. You need to be putting yourselves in wealthy communities. You need to be surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals. You need to be doing your due diligence and reading the material that you need to read, making sure you understand it and making sure you're actually applying whatever it is that person is teaching you. If you want to be a farmer, if you want to know how to make your own herbs, if you want to know how to heal yourself, you need to be putting yourselves in positions to where you are learning from people that are already at where you're trying to be. You also want to be willing to put in the work to study, because anything that you're going to do that is going to lead you to having what you deem successful, there's some type of studying involved. There's some type of learning involved for you to get there. But most of us get bored along the way. And I understand, but that's why you stay disciplined to the act and you continue doing it, even though it may be boring some days. So even on days where you find certain material boring, but it's going to lead to your success, you have to be willing to read it. You have to be willing to learn it. Most of us aren't successful because we get bored and we put it down and then we give up, or we get overwhelmed because we don't understand. But you have to just stay committed to the act. Continue learning, continue applying, no matter how boring or tired you are. Because whatever it is that you are learning, you're needing to learn that in order to create a successful life. Successful people got where they are today because they understand that the boring material makes the most impactful things happen in your life. So let's get into the next successful habit that successful people do. Never give up. Most successful people that got where they are today is due to the fact that they are unafraid of failure. While most of us don't like our plans to not turn out the way that we want, or our businesses fail, or our ideas don't work, or we fail to reach any type of goals that we set, it deters us from ever trying again. When all actuality, we have to learn how to build an unbreakable spirit and become unafraid of failure. It is okay to fail. Through failure is growth. Failure is how you learn what not to do. Failure is where you experience the most growth. So you have to be unafraid to fail and unafraid to try again. To have an unbreakable spirit and realize that no matter how many times you fail, you will create the life that it is that you desire. You will complete the goals that it is that you have set for yourself through discipline, through applied knowledge, through self-reflection, through accountability, responsibility, and through giving up your fear of failure. You will accomplish those goals. J.K. Rowling, who wrote the Harry Potter books, she failed 12 times before she actually got published. You become the best through your failures, through your attempts at something. It is okay to fail. It is not okay for you to give up, for you to give in, for you to feel like something isn't for you because you failed a certain amount of times. You have to learn how to discern what isn't and what is for you, while also realizing that in certain aspects, you're going to fail a certain number of times before you're able to create whatever life it is that you're trying to live, before you're able to successfully complete whatever goals it is that you're trying to complete. Sometimes we jump off the porch before we're ready for certain things, which is why we're going to fail a certain number of times, because we were lacking something during the time that we tried whatever it is we were trying to do. You're going to get the door slammed in your face sometimes, but you have to be willing to keep knocking on the next one and the next one until you get a yes. So become unbreakable, my friends. Have an unwavering spirit. Have a sense of knowing in yourself, because we're all divinely guided and protected, so long as that we're open to realizing that we are and accepting that guidance and protection. Keep moving forward. Now, the next habit that I would say successful people have is a little bit of paranoia. And most of you might wonder, well, why I say that, but to be paranoid is to take steps that are going to prepare you and your family for any possible outcome that you can, the best way that you can. Now, of course, you have to accept the fact that you can only do things at your current level of life, right? Like, for example, I try to make it a habit to one of the things that I've been trying to do to overcome my fear with the state of the world is to do the best I can with what I can. But at the same time, doing something is always going to be better than nothing. So the point that I'm trying to make is that one thing I'm learning from one of my mentors is that successful people are paranoid when it comes to their finances or their family's well-being. So they prepare for different things, setting up trusts, setting up estates, setting up certain bank accounts, setting up trustees and bunkers and food preparation and different things like that. And your average day-to-day person who has not prepared, the first thing they're going to say is you're crazy, or it's unnecessary, or they don't have the money or the time. But that same person is then going to go and blow money 9 times out of 10 on a good time instead of planning for the long term. Most successful people plan for the long term, unlike your average day-to-day person who honestly does not plan for the long term. Some people don't feel like they have it to plan for, but 50 years later and they're still here and they wish they would have. And you want to be able to plan the best you can with whatever it is you have. So even though you're trying to create whatever, you're trying to complete whatever goals it is you have, you're trying to create whatever life it is you're trying to create, you always want to be a little bit paranoid with your finances and realize that banks don't always have your best interests at heart. That's just a fact. Want to look into what you can do to protect your assets. Asset management is basically what I'm saying, something we have to learn as we become more and more successful. Because if you're watching this video right now, you're on your way to success, or you're already successful and you're going to experience even more success. So you want to look into asset management and protecting your assets. You want to look into becoming more independent and teaching your family that you're taking care of to be a little bit more independent, teaching your family how to survive and have different survival skills that they may need at any point in time, because we all do not know when or where we may need those things. And if we don't never need those things, thank God. But if we do, then we have the ability and the knowledge to apply whatever it is that we need to apply. You don't want to let that consume you. You don't want to become fearful, living in a low vibrational emotion all the time and every day of your life. You want to learn how to balance that, how to understand that anything can happen and have acceptance in that, but also realize you have the power to prepare, even if it's a little. Like one thing that I'm learning from my book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, is that buying things and storing emergency supplies is just as important as storing money in an account to save. People say they don't have money for either, but even if it's just $10 a month or $10 every 2 weeks, the small money you put away for something each and every time that you get it adds up over time. But we have a habit of thinking short term, so we always tell ourselves we don't have enough, we don't make enough, we can't do enough. But you do what you can, when you can, with what you can, and over time, over the long term, we need to start thinking long term. That adds up and becomes something that you can use. So this is your sign. Think about asset protection, survival skills, and preparation gear. Not to be fearful, but to understand that those things are important and can come in handy. Wealthy people prepare before something happens, not when it happens. Most of us, we prepare or try to get things when things are going down, or a couple days before they go down, instead of paying attention and preparing way before something happens. It is better to be prepared and nothing happens than to be unprepared and something happens. That is something that you should forever take with you. Time and patience go hand in hand. A lot of successful people got to where they are today through realizing how important their time is, how valuable their time on this plane is, while also realizing that patience is key in creating success. Wealth isn't built overnight. Abundance isn't built overnight. It's built over time, and an accumulation of small actions that add up to a large reward. And this is something that I just realized, which I've heard it time and time again. But if you were with me since the beginning of when I started my channel in 2020, you know that I told you guys I did not have patience. And I made a joke about it, but it's really something that I'm learning to have, that I think I have learned to have a little bit more of. And I'm going to gain a little bit more patience every day, because patience will be the key to your success. You have to realize that not everyone creates wealth overnight. Not everyone creates success overnight. And I feel like in this society nowadays, we're all expecting or looking for some type of get-rich-quick scheme or plan or something, because we're so accustomed to seeing so many people become wealthy overnight, or what we think overnight is, because you got to remember, again, we are not that person, so we don't know how long they've been going after whatever it is that they were going after. But we try to get wealthy overnight, and that's simply not going to happen from everyone. It's not going to happen for majority of us. We have to put in the work and do small things each and every day that add up to a large reward and pay off, and be patient as that unfolds. We also have to realize that we don't have time to waste. While you don't want to overload yourself with information, you don't want to overwork yourself to the point of burnout, you also want to realize that you want to work smarter, not harder. You have to pay attention specifically on what it is that you're supposed to specifically be doing. You have to come up with a plan that is going to help you complete the goals or manifest the life that you desire. And when you figure out what actions you need to be taking, you need to make sure you are making the time and to put in the effort to do those actions, to do those things. Because every time that you do something that you're supposed to do that is going to make you successful, or that is going to help you complete the goals that you have or manifest the life that you want to live, that adds up each and every time that you do those things. And eventually it pays off for you. Like, what taught me this is, I want to say, social media. Nowadays, content is becoming the same. Everyone wants to do content. All of the videos are the same. People are getting sick of watching certain videos now, and viewership is going down because so many people are sick and tired of seeing the same videos, or sick and tired of not feeling like that person is truly doing it for the right reasons. Most people are doing content nowadays because they want the quick cash, they want the money, the fame. But in all actuality, if you truly want to be a content creator, most of the people that truly have a community and are successful in the content creator industry, if you look back how far they were making content, they were doing this 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 5 years ago. Most people was creating content for a very long time and stuck to it. Or even if you don't want to say they've been doing it for years, some people could have just started, but they're putting in the effort to evolve their craft. You can tell how sincere and how much they actually enjoy the art of content creating versus trying to put out quick videos for a quick buck. If you truly want to grow in the content creator field, I feel like because there's so many phonies now creating content to get quick cash, you're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to be creating content because it's something that you truly enjoy. Because most people are not going to want to watch your content if they feel like you're a fake or you're a fraud. You want to do content because it's something that you actually enjoy. Aim to build a community around who you are. Be yourself, be authentic. Don't care too much about the views and how many people watched. Make a connection with each and every one of your watchers, even if that's only 3 people. Because you will eventually grow. Your content, your viewership will grow with you. The more you evolve, the more your videos evolve, the more authentic you are, the more heart that you put into it, it pays off. Pay attention to where you're giving your time, because your time is valuable. We are not all promised a certain amount of time on this plane. So if you want to be successful, you have to realize when you're overdoing it with the distractions. How long are you scrolling? How many hours are you scrolling a day? How many hours are you spent watching TV and bullshitting? You have to pay attention to things like that. Yes, we need a break. Yes, sometimes we just want to relax. That's fine. But how much of your time are you putting into those things? If you're putting 80% of your time into distractions and 20% into building successful habits and doing the actions that are going to make you successful, or that are going to aid you in creating the life that it is that you're trying to create, you're not going to be successful, or you're not going to get there as soon as you would hope or you would like, because majority of your time is being consumed by bullshit, by distractions. That's what a lot of us don't really understand about the money today, why money was never valuable. The dollar's falling. It was never worth anything to begin with, because it's not the fiat paper itself that is wealthy. It is you. You hold the wealth, not the paper. It's you, your energy, your res, your time is valuable. So you have to figure out how much of your time can you put into yourself, into creating the best possible version of yourself, and put as much time into that as possible. Minimizing the scrolling, the distractions, the things that don't aid in making you a better person. Have patience with yourself and realize that every little positive action that you do ultimately leads to a better version of yourself down the line. It leads to better results. It leads to better rewards. It is through the little steps that we take each and every day, each and every moment, each and every millisecond that we take that adds up over time. So your success isn't going to come from your inactions or your excuses. It's going to come from you owning up to your bullshit, putting in the work. We all like to use excuses such as, I don't have enough money, I can't do this, I can't do that, I grew up this way, I grew up that way, I don't have the time. While it is true that some people are more fortunate than others, we all have the ability to create the life it is that we desire, so long as we put in the work for it. Some may have to work a little bit harder than others, but you can't say you can't attain that life. That's your excuses that's getting in your way. We all don't have to experience the same 24 hours, but there is always room in your life where you can minimize distractions and put more into growing yourself, so that you can live a more peaceful life, a life that you actually desire. You have to figure out where in your 24-hour day do you have the time to put more into yourself and not others. Because through putting more into yourself, you're able to free up more time for yourself down the line through creating more wealth, connections, or peace. You have to stop letting your excuses get in your way of success and own up to your bullshit. You have to think like that. Surround yourself with positive people if you're surrounded by negative ones. And if no one's around you, force yourself into a positive state of mind. Gain some principles. Gain some knowledge. Apply what you learn. Have discipline. Have patience. Have a never give up attitude. Don't be afraid of failure. Be a little paranoid behind your assets and your family and their well-being. It's time to put into you, because no one else is going to do it for you. No one is going to make you wealthy. No one is going to give you peace. You have to create those things for yourself. You have to attract those things for yourself. You have to put in the work. It's you. It all begins and ends with you. You want success, you already have it. But you have to realize you do. And you have to do certain things to keep that in your life.